In this week's video, join me for a full tour of the gateway city of the Ivory Coast, where we'll wander its chaotic Grande Marche, meet the friendly locals, and get off the beaten path to explore its rugged mountain terrain and waterfalls that surround the city. This vibrant highland market town is one of West Africa's true hidden gems, and it's well worth spending a couple of days here to break up your overland journey. Welcome to Cote d'Ivoire. Well, good morning from or good afternoon rather. I definitely took my time getting out of the hotel today. As you can see, beautiful hills and mountains surrounding this city. Pretty well on all sides. So it is a gorgeous setting, and I'm staying just up the hill here at that Airbnb. Kind of a residential area. It's not too far. It's about a 20-minute walk to the center of town, so manageable, about 1.5 kilometers. And it's within really easy walking distance of the waterfall, so that's the main thing on my to-do list today. In any case, I have to find a bank, or at least a money changer, because I am completely out of money. I have about $1 left, cash, so I have $40 US as well. So gotta go at least liquidate some of that and change it into CFA. Pretty cute town though. A really good introduction to Ivory Coast if you've never been here before. And again, as you can see, completely safe, friendly, and secure. Nobody will ever bother you in Cote d'Ivoire. Pretty nice place. So this is the city center of I'm heading over to the market right now, which is about 3 blocks away. So check around, see what this town has. They have some street stalls here, a lot of traffic, but decent selection of restaurants and bars and everything else. So it is actually pretty pleasant here. So I found a supermarket and got myself my favorite drink here in Ivory Coast, along with their ginger and their tamarind. This is bissap, or hibiscus juice, basically. It's really good. It almost has a cherry-like flavor, so unique. And honestly, I just load up on this stuff when I'm in this part of the world. It's so good. So I'm heading down to the market area. Huge market economy here in West Africa. So you do see supermarkets here, like the one I just went to, but by and large, people do their shopping at these roadside markets. There's a variety of things here, everything from housewares to lots of clothing, basically. And all of it, you might notice, is donated clothing from North America. I remember coming across a shirt for Curves for Women, Slave Lake, Alberta, here in Africa, which was really funny. So a female gym in a small town in Alberta, Canada, made its way here to the markets. So it's really interesting to see some of that secondhand clothing trickling its way down across the planet here to these small markets in the middle of nowhere. It's really interesting.
Hey, mon ami. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Hello.
So I'm into the more crowded alleys of the market now, and a little more chaotic down here. A lot of vegetables and fruits. Pretty wild here. So some fresh fish right here. Pretty massive. Pretty much lots on offer here. They have a lot of fish, which I wasn't expecting because this is so far inland, I guess, but these must be freshwater. Some various porridges and maize. Beautiful vegetables for sale. I got some ginger, some pineapple, different peppers over here, and then this massive pile of hibiscus, which makes that bissap that I'm drinking right now. So beautiful. A lot of different produce on offer here. As much as I love poking around these places, it's not really built for my height. I keep hitting my head and dragging my head on things, but it's also very claustrophobic, so kind of want to get to the end of it soon. So you could easily get lost here. There's so many different ways that you can go through this market. It's chaotic, as you can get a sense of, I'm sure. One lady was selling fried donuts. I didn't get a chance to film that, but here's some okra on that side. Pretty interesting market. Purely local. There's no other tourists here, that's for sure. Really interesting market. They're a little bit sensitive about being on camera though, so just know that. Be as discreet as possible, but pretty interesting market. Plenty of variety here, honestly. It's really worth coming to these local markets to get a sense of how people actually live. And often from the poorest segments of society, of course. Tamarind pulp. So I just picked up some of these. They sell these instant drink packets and really interesting flavors. So I got myself some local finds here, ginger, tamarind, and I got some bisap as well. So we'll see how they are. All right, I am heading out. It looks like a storm or something is moving in. It's getting pretty windy and cloudy, so it might rain. I don't know. But I've emerged from the market. I would say that this place can be considered one of the world's great markets, honestly. Pretty huge space too. It spans about 10 city blocks in either direction, so it's massive. Definitely check out that market if you're here in Ma, if you're passing through. Again, it's the perfect place to break up the long trip between Monrovia and Abidjan. So this is the Centre-Ville, downtown Ma. You can see the only tall building is this lone building here that looks completely abandoned, which is very usual here in this part of the world. I'm not sure why they've built so many buildings, but they all seem to be forlorn. I don't know why. In any case, I am going to continue my way now to the waterfall. I just got to find transport. I'm going to go walk to the road that the spur road to the waterfall is located off of, and then hopefully just get a taxi up the road. That's probably the easiest way to do this. All right, so this is the entrance of the road leading up to the Cascades or the waterfall. And it's a 1 kilometer hike uphill. So I was thinking about taking a motorbike, but maybe I will, I don't know. I guess I can ask, but it's really not that far. It'll take about 15 minutes to walk up there. Doesn't look like they're offering either, so maybe they're not motorbike taxis, I don't really know. But in any case, pretty beautiful place. And honestly, I didn't even know that Cote d'Ivoire had mountains, so this is a nice surprise. I guess I'm walking. Gorgeous terrain though. This is a beautiful place. This is the north end of Mon. So pretty lush and green. And the playful little puppies. What you guys doing? They must be so young. Really cute. It's a little bit uphill. The grade here is not too bad, so I don't have to worry too much about slogging it. But I can't wait to see these waterfalls. They're supposed to be pretty outstanding, so well worth the hike. The surrounding villages are known for their stilt dancing as part of their cultural traditions, but they usually do it during the, I think it's called the Mask Festival. But this time of year, if you want to see it, you have to basically charter a tour just by yourself, and it's in the neighborhood of $300+ to arrange the logistics out there and also just have them put on the performance they otherwise wouldn't be performing. So of course I couldn't partake in that, though I would love to see it. Check it out on YouTube though, it's really interesting. Slowly making my way up, but I just heard the afternoon call to prayer now. So Cote d'Ivoire is about a 50-50 Muslim Christian country. Muslim in the north, Christian in the south, so we're kind of at the cusp here, I guess. Absolutely gorgeous. It's a very mountainous region of Cote d'Ivoire, so definitely wasn't expecting that, but pleasantly surprised with Man or Ma. Gorgeous place. It's lush jungle too. This is getting towards Central Africa, so it is the greenest part of the continent. You can hear those cicadas going wild. Coming across some signs of life here. Parking area, so the entrance must be right here. So some impressive rock formations right here at the entrance. I do think it's going to rain though. I hear some thunder in the distance, so here's hoping I stay dry. But wow, pretty cool place. All right, I've made it here to the entrance of the Cascades Naturelles. The natural waterfall, basically. Natural cascades. So I'll head inside, check it out. So you have to descend this pretty rocky staircase with a little bit uneven footing, so be careful. It's definitely a tripping hazard, but making my way down to the waterfall. It's getting late though. I should have come a lot earlier in the day. The ambient light is kind of limited right now. It's a pretty long staircase too. I'm not going to have the greatest of times coming up. In any case, I thought they were overcharging me up there. They were asking for 1,000 francs when I was told it was 500. So I guess their policy is 500 for national residents and 1,000 for visitors. So that makes sense, and I didn't fight it. I just paid up, and it's not a lot of money. It's about $2 US to enter, so not a ton. So it looks like they had a lot of destruction here at some point. Trees falling over, so major storm must have moved through at some point. It's an incredible amount of mess there. And as I expected, it's not a huge flow this time of year, but it'll be cool enough. I can see it from here. A little trickle, but it is what it is. Well, there we go. That is the Cascades du Man Waterfall. Not a lot of water. I could see in the summer, this would be absolutely beautiful when the wet season rolls in. So after May or so, this would be just flowing the whole rock face. But there's a little bit of moisture, not much though. Even the rock face itself is pretty outstanding. I'm gonna head over here and see if I can touch some of the water here. It's gonna be pretty slippery though, I'm sure. Definitely an outstanding place and really, really accessible to the town of Man. So definitely check it out if you're in the area. It's just down the street from my hotel, really. And it's a proper waterfall. Like, wow, so cool. Some fresh mountain water right here. I wouldn't drink it, but it's definitely refreshing. Wow. The cesspool, however, is definitely not as scenic. But in any case, pretty beautiful waterfall. What's there of it, at least. Anyway, heading out. That was a surprisingly short visit, but as sunset approaches, the mosquitoes are going to be out and I'm not really protected anymore. So I better get out of here. But yeah, it's worth $2. But yeah, definitely visit here in the summertime. This is a bit of a letdown. So back down the hill we go. There's no motos or taxis or anything at the top. So if you're coming here, if you don't have your own wheels, just be prepared to slog it up the hill and back down again. But I really don't mind. As you can see, these views are absolutely sublime. Just a gorgeous town. The highlands, basically, of Cote d'Ivoire. So beautiful. All right, I am back in my raucous and dusty neighborhood. Heading back to the Airbnb for the night. I got groceries to finally have a real meal. Pretty good day here in Ma. I probably should have started a bit earlier. I definitely needed more time to see everything I wanted to see. I didn't make it to the famous mountain nearby called the Dent du Man, or the Man Tooth. It actually involves a 3 to 4 hour hike, which I don't have the time for, but yeah, looks pretty cool. Looks like that one little needle rock out on Maui there in the center. So very similar to that, but pretty good day nonetheless. So I took full advantage today of my kitchen here, and I prepared myself not the most exciting meal, my take on spaghetti bolognese and some fried eggs on the top. So don't judge me, beggars cannot be choosers. This is the best I could do. Bon appetit! Well, good morning from Man, Cote d'Ivoire. I just checked out of my Airbnb and I'm heading over to the main road to get a shared taxi now down to the UTB bus terminal. So UTB is the largest, I believe the largest bus company here in Cote d'Ivoire, and really good service and very comfortable. So I'm going to go with them for the ride out to Abidjan, but also sad to say goodbye to Man because it is a beautiful, beautiful highlands town. So definitely check this place out if you are making that overland journey from Monrovia. It's been a pretty amazing place to explore, so definitely enjoyed my time here, but got to move on down. And the road I'm looking for is just down here, kind of where those people are walking. It's a bit wet compared to what it was yesterday, that massive storm that rolled through, but not as wet as I thought it would be. So I don't think we're gonna have any highway issues getting out of here. The sun is just so strong, I think it evaporates pretty quickly. But I should be able to find a bus pretty shortly and make my way over pretty much all the way across the country now.
Once I arrived at the UTB bus station, I bought a ticket for the first bus heading east to Yamoussoukro, the capital city of Cote d'Ivoire, located about 3 hours north of Abidjan. There, I'd planned to explore the stunning Basilica of Our Lady of Peace, the largest Christian church in Africa, before continuing south to Abidjan, the largest city in the country and one of the largest on the continent. The 329-kilometer ride would take just over 6 hours due to the rough road conditions in this part of the country. Along the way, I enjoyed taking in views of the changing terrain as we moved east across the country.
So if you're wondering about the comfort of the buses here, you can see pretty plush seats. Like they do have a lot of padding, so pretty clean, comfortable, and good AC, so that's all that matters here. So the only reality here is that there's not a ton of leg room. It's pretty comfortable, but yeah, it's a bit squished. But officially leaving Mont, so pretty good stay. This is the UTB bus company, the largest here in Cote d'Ivoire. It's pretty good, a little bit cramped, but I survived. So now to find a taxi to head to the hotel, which is about, maybe 10 minutes away or so. All right, a short drive later, I've arrived here at the Florence Hotel, where I'm staying in Yamoussoukro, the capital city here of Cote d'Ivoire. And I am tired, so I'm gonna head to bed. Well, I've just checked into my room here at the Florence Hotel in Yamoussoukro. Some of the furniture is a bit worse for wear, but it's not bad at all. There's television, air conditioner. Yeah, pretty clean and comfortable, nothing to complain about. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified when new episodes are posted. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.